Thanks for joining us today. Today we're just going to go over our shipbuilder here and rebuild the Frontier. Enter the menu here. Let's select the Frontier. There it is. Go into the shipbuilder. And at first I'm just going to take it all apart into its own, like every individual, like separate piece, like the weapons, the habs, the landing gear, the fuel, the shield, docker, all that stuff. And this helps if you're, just to kind of figure out how things go together, are supposed to fit together. I know at first it can be kind of confusing or frustrating anyway, especially you always have to have a path from your landing bay to your cockpit. So either through habs or up a ladder. Probably you always usually go at least through one hab, either up a ladder or through a pathway into your cockpit. And you'll see later on in this video I kind of have an issue with that because I just forget how one landing bay works. It has to go through the side of a hab, not with a ladder straight up the top. But okay, here you are. That's the docker. That's the hab. The 4 landing gear. And I just go through here and replace each one of these one by one. With just upgrade it. It's nothing fancy. Just a generic ship just thrown together. You can see here where there's marks. When you select it, it'll actually show what it connects to on another piece of equipment. Usually that yeah, it'll like highlight the round circles there. It'll connect to a hab, and right there on the front of that, where it's like that circle with the bottom, it's like flat. That's like a passageway where you walk through, and that always connects to those. Always. There's like equipment plates, so you can put weapons on, or like your shield generator, and you can add equipment plates to add more stuff to certain habs. Like right there, you can mount the weapons, and I think I just grab the missile launcher and just mount it there, and that rail cannon will mount right there. When you click it, will show everywhere. It'll be highlighted white that you can actually mount it. If it's red or something, it won't mount. There's something in the way or interfering. Let's see. Everywhere that it will mount, it will highlight. So even all the way back there, you can mount it. So here you go. I'm just showing how you could put the weapon like literally right underneath the landing gear, and it mounts, and it's perfectly fine. The game allows it, even though, I mean, you probably would be shooting your landing gear probably in reality, but it allows it. So you could hide your weapons, you could hide fuel tanks that way, so you can get pretty creative with the shipbuilder. Alright, now I'm looking at the grav drive and reactors. So yeah, we want to upgrade this reactor. I think I put a B reactor in it, I believe. Or I might keep an A. You get the most power out of the C reactors, but they're heavier. That is one advantage. It actually adds more to your hull, so you can take more damage with a heavy C reactor. But if you use like an A reactor or a B reactor, you can get your 100 mobility much easier. And you'll see later on I come into that, where I have to add an extra engine or two to get to 100 mobility, which, unless you plan on doing a lot of space combat, is not really that important. You can literally just make a gigantic square, which I have, kind of like a Borg square type deal, just to haul cargo, and it's fine. It could be like 20 mobility. It'll still take off and land. Not so great in combat because you literally move like a brick. Okay, so I'm improving the engines. And over here you can see the specs for the engines, so like the thrust and all that stuff. The power it takes. Down here, like each engine will take so much power up on out of your reactor. And that maxes out at 12, I think. Yeah. Each thing, like a weapon, or each weapon slot, or your shield generator, or your grav drive, takes 12 power. Now, albeit your grav drive and your shield generator, you can only have one of those. Yeah, this isn't the greatest looking ship, but that's not the idea. Just throw something together real kind of quick. I don't know. It takes me about half an hour. I think I delete that card. I can't remember. I'm actually watching this again, recording this. The hab, I think I get one of the new habs, the empty ones, so you can decorate it however you want. I think it maybe might have been a Tayo. And you can get bottom habs, and then the middle ones, which they're flat on top and bottom, and then the top one, like on the Tayo, for instance, it's rounded on the top, or at least the edges are. And I think I actually grabbed I think it's a bottom hab. I wanted to get a top hab. Just gonna delete that one. It is very time consuming, which is not a bad thing, especially when you're first starting out and you don't quite get how things go together. And even once you understand, sometimes you can run into some things that just don't want to go together the way you want them to go together. And obviously I'm not using no glitches or anything or mods. I'm on the Xbox. So now I'm just kind of assembling all the pieces together that I want here. And just seeing how it comes together, what it looks like. I'm not really going for aesthetics. Not with this ship. Yeah, there's this. Picking out the docker. Finding a place that sells the bottom dockers are pretty nice because it makes selecting your landing gear a lot easier. And also, if you get a really large top docker, nothing on top of the ship can be higher up than the top docker. Now that slim one right there, it expands out, so you kind of cheat a little bit with that, but nothing can be extend beyond your landing gear out the bottom or past your docker out the side, the bottom, or the top, depending on where you put it. Now we're selecting shield generator. Like I said, I think I got a B reactor, no, an A reactor. I'm just going to get the best one, or seemingly the best one in this class reactor. Yeah, I think I actually switch out that hab for a center hab so I can mount stuff on the side. Now, the landing bay. This is how you'll enter and exit the ship. This will probably be the most frustrating thing to add to a ship, simply because it always has to contact through a hab. It has must make its way, not necessarily a straight line, but to the cockpit. All right. And on this one, the one I pick up, you have to put it on the side of a hab. You can't put it underneath it, which I make that mistake here, and it takes me a few minutes to figure it out. But I think this hab, you can have a ladder go out the top, but the one I end up using, I have to put it on the side of a hab, not the bottom, which I'm putting it on the bottom right here, which is wrong because it won't have a ladder go up, especially since I already have a ladder going out my docker. So there's some stuff going on there that I'm just deleting all the pieces I know I'm not going to use. Okay, and I'm going to get a new, what is this, cockpits, that landing gear. Yeah. Yeah, the Stroud Eklund landing gear is always nice to use because it can go directly on the bottom of a ship. You use them ones with the big long legs and stuff, and you kind of have to mount them correctly, make sure nothing's below them. Or then they're not above any part of the ship, basically, which is the same thing. I'm trying to figure out what fuel tank I want, a decent size one, because if you have a real small one, you can't make certain grav jumps in one go. So you want it at least large enough where you can travel pretty well from one side of the star map to the next, just to make life easier and save you some time. Yeah, this ship actually ends up looking a lot like a stiletto. Which is a good ship. They're not bad. But then I add some other decoration to it at the end. But here's our cargo. You always need some cargo to haul all your space junk around, you know, which it's a Bethesda game. It's designed to collect, you know, junk, all sorts of stuff, you know. So try to make it the same on both sides, or as near as I can get it. Now my mobility is not bad right here. It gets a lot worse, but I fix that with some engines. Okay, the cowling I don't need. I think I just deleted outright. Give me another cockpit. I think I go with probably a Strauss-Eklund cockpit. I like their cockpits. Hope Tech are actually pretty nice, especially if you're going with like a shorter ship, so it saves you some space on the front end. And also over here on the side you can see crew stations, so basically how much crew you can have with that cockpit. The hull, that adds like how much damage you can take, which, like I said, basically most of your hull comes from your reactor. Everything else adds a little bit, but not a lot. Unless you just make a large, massive ship with a bunch of halves and stuff on it. Yeah, this is definitely looking like a stiletto. I need to add another landing gear, you know. You can make a ship with just one landing gear. They look a little funny, but you can do it. Okay, so I have no weapons right now. There's some other warnings here. I think it's I don't have a straight line to my cockpit. Because as I said before, I messed up with this landing bay. Is the side of it needs to be hooked up to a hab. Not the underneath a hab, but on the side of the hab. And these are just structural pieces, so like your wings, or if you want to add like extensions out to add more equipment to, like weapons for instance, or other structural pieces to add decoration to a ship. You know, just make it your own. Like I said, it's a lot of different options, and you can dump a lot of time into the Shipbuilder. It's fun though if you enjoy that sort of thing. What do I find here? The weapon mount, I believe, and I put it underneath the cockpit. I think it's a Tayo weapon mount, might be Nova Galactic. I think I do end up using some wings here. But yeah. And I'm at your outpost landing pad with a Shipbuilder. So if you go to specific cities and stuff with a Shipbuilder there, which are at every landing pad, they'll have different parts. Not every place has the same ship parts. And if you go to a star yard, then that specific star yard will have their specific parts and maybe some parts from their manufacturer that you can't get anywhere else. Especially when you're looking for like your reactors. Not every star yard or shipbuilder on a landing pad somewhere has the best reactors in certain classes. So it does take some time to just shop around and look for what you need and find what you want. Yeah, I'm going for like these little wing type deals. I don't know. Just something to make it not look like a gigantic space torpedo. But yeah, it's very stiletto-like. And you can flip these pieces from left to right. I think it's like Y or something. And just duplicate it, add it to the other side. And this is when I check my errors and I do not have a direct contact to my cockpit, which means I have to make contact with the cockpit. This is also, yeah, I think I've played around with this for a few minutes until I figure it out. I think, like I said, I had to add a hab underneath it and add it to the side of it. And I think I also moved the docker. I don't think that had much to do with it, but it would interfere with its ladders going up with the ladders going down. So move that out of there. Nothing's interfering, but it's not actually making contact, because you have to go through the side of this landing bay, which it takes me a minute to figure out because it's been a while since I've used a Shipbuilder. You know, I'm not very good at it anyway. But it's fun to mess around with, especially when you have a ton of credits and you just want to dump them for, why not? Okay, yeah, this is painful. Might take a few minutes of this out of here because it takes me a few minutes to realize what I had done, and yeah. Or I might just leave it in because you get to see it, watch it, and you get to watch it if you're watching this far. It's already 20 minutes into this video. And I think this is where I figure out, oh, I need to add a tab. Yeah. Tie one to kind of match the other one. But then I still did it wrong. I put it on the side of it, not the bottom. Or not the side. I put it on the wrong side. It needs to be adjacent, or the opposite of where the actual, can't think, the ramp is. Yeah, you'll see me here for a few minutes just mess around. It's like, same thing. And this is also a good demonstration why this is so frustrating at times, especially until you do it. And this is why I'm making this video. Like, literally just get a ship of yours, tear it apart, figure out how things go together, how they don't go together, how they interact. Really, I mean, that's the best advice someone could give you for the shipbuilder. I'm sure there's way better YouTube channels, you know, with way better videos than this one explaining all this and showing it with much more competency than I am showing. But, you know, here it is. There it is. Bam. And it's still an error message. I don't know what's going on. Something wasn't clicked right. And I'll look at it here in a second, because you can select your entire ship and highlight it, and it'll show what's not connected. So, yeah. See, that's not connected. This is not being highlighted. I think all I had to do is just move it around and get it connected. Yeah, fun stuff. And now we're getting somewhere. And all I do is just take this back apart and put it together. And it makes a connection. Nope, not that simple actually. Yeah, sometimes in warnings and stuff where it tells you, oh, it's not together right, it just drives you absolutely crazy. Trying to figure it out can be quite frustrating. Yeah, right, it should connect, it should go through. Bam. And all that frustration just over that. Now I'm just double checking everything. If it's the right contacts, which it should be, you know. Everything's going up or down or into one another. quite frustrating still. Bam. Through all that, just moving that stuff around, I fixed a problem, which is really, really frustrating. Because it was connected like that before. Or it seemed to be. That's the key word. It seemed to be connected like that before. But I guess just unattaching modules, reattaching them, probably just reset something and they connected. But yeah, this is kind of a mess of a build, but I was just kind of going with it while I was just replacing everything on the Frontier. I don't think nothing's what it started out to be. What am I doing now? Weapons. Usually I like setting up particle beams, occasionally a missile launcher, but mainly particle beams. And if I want to take over ships, add one EM weapon. Turrets, depending on the size of the ship. If I like turrets on a medium size to large, mainly on the larger size ships. They help, especially if you have low mobility. But yeah, particle beam weapons are pretty awesome in ship combat. But you do need rocket launchers occasionally. Just duplicating that, putting it right there. Nice thing about these weapon mounts, you can put everything you need right there. And if you want it, you could also, I didn't do it and wasn't thinking of it when I was making this video, but you could take that weapon mount and put over here under the wings and have your weapons not only under the cockpit, but out here to the sides if you wanted something like that, or back over on top of the fuselage and stuff. But yeah, just lots of different ways to do it. Now I'm just going through here assigning the weapons after I got them all picked out. And we're getting almost ready to get finished up here, except for our really low mobility, and I'll fix that, which you don't really need to fix, but hey, it's nice to have really good mobility. I think I might get rid of some cargo space, at least one of them, maybe. Just gotta find a nice small engine to add to this that makes sense and doesn't look too bad, but nothing can make this ship look worse than what it is, so we're all good. I think I had 2 of these on the rear of the ship there. Just flip the engine around, boom. I think I end up deleting one of those. and then add another one over there. Just duplicate that one, flip it, attach. Bam, we're golden. 100% mobility, all weapons assigned. I think it was like landing gear. I needed more landing gear because my mass was too large, so I'm just grabbing a real small, probably a Hope Tech, I think, and just throwing it up here on the front. But yeah, sometimes these builds just take on a mind of their own and just go and just to make it look nice and put it on both sides, even though I probably could have got by with just one of those. Same thing with the engines in the back. I probably could have just added an extra engine. And now we're going to change the color real quick. I think I just selected the whole ship, so this color is going to apply to all the halves. And all that stuff. But yeah, this is a fun part too. The only thing that I'd like to see maybe in a future DLC or updates is being able to add specific paint jobs to these. Like say if you're in the Crimson Fleet, like maybe you can add like a Crimson Fleet skull on there, or say you're in Constellation, which you are in Constellation, especially if you play the main storyline, you could like decorate it with kind of like their theme. And the same thing if you want to be like a Freestar Ranger, kind of like put a star on it, or make it look like a sheriff's ship or something. Or if you're Ryujin, you can make it look like, well, like a nice business class, where you decorate it like their type of ship or something. That would be a nice thing to see, a nice feature in the future. Now we're going to go give it a test drive, go fly around, fight some Varun here, and I think I get blown up a little bit too, but probably most of these I get blown out of the sky, but it's not too shabby. Not too shabby of a little ship. And here's that open hab, which just is screaming to be decorated with stuff, which I think I fill in with some stuff to do modifications to our weapons and spacesuits and stuff, And I have enough crew space for a few crew members, So, good stuff, good stuff. And we taking off. Boom. And usually it takes a few seconds for them to jump into this planet. We're in the Serpentis system, so basically you go to any planet there and Varun will just attack you. Just straight up attack you. It doesn't seem too bad right here. A little slow on the damage, but that's okay. Shields aren't holding up too well, but I think the greatest shield anyway. Like I said, I think I'm still Class A, maybe a Class B reactor. These two ships I don't have too much trouble with, but you'll see here in a minute the next planet I jump to I kind of have some trouble. I eventually take them out, but I get blown up a few times, which you'll see here in a minute or two. Not bad for your first, test flight. Let's go find some more Varun to attack, or to attack us. And off we go. Yeah, definitely not the best looking ship. But it works. It's functional. And here I think is where I'm about to get lit up by 2 or 3 Varun. Might just be 2 pretty good level ones. Yeah. Yeah, because my shields are almost down, and once you lose your shields, then you can start taking damage to your system. So, like your engines, your weapons. Yeah, they knock your engines out, you're sitting duck. Knock your weapons out, just almost as bad. Yeah, in this small ship, you just can't. The engines and stuff ain't good enough to recover fast enough to just keep boosting and boosting and boosting. Here we go again. I don't think I have any better luck this go around either. Like I said, this does decent damage, but when the difficulty settings out, and with these large, pretty sturdy enemies, I could probably upgrade the weapons a little bit and do a little bit better. Maybe learn how to fly better too, might help me out a lot. But, yeah. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all, I don't think. It'd definitely be a lot better. A lot better. And there you go again. Might even make it this time, I think. Maybe. Possibly. Like I said, just a little bit more practice with the flying. I might be a little bit better with the ship. I don't really think I need to upgrade the weapons. Maybe the engines. But doesn't do too shabby, I don't believe. Yeah, a few different tries, get blown up a few times, just have to work on, getting better flying. That makes all the difference. Especially when you're running away from people that are just slamming you so hard. Especially larger ships, multiple ships. And I think I just took him out. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Jump